Day weekend tradition in St. Louis for more than 30 years. And we're back here at Grant's Farm. We're at the Bush Mansion. We've done the telethon here for so many years, and they have helped us raise millions of dollars to help kids and adults affected by muscular dystrophy. And speaking of help, I'm lucky to have a lot of help for the next 2 hours. So let's bring in one of my co-hosts, Ann Allred. Ann.
Hi, Mike. I am so thrilled to be with you for the MDA telethon again this year. We've got a lot of work to do in a very short period of time. We only have until 10 o'clock to raise as much money as we can to help find cures and make life a little easier for kids and adults with muscular dystrophy. We've partnered with MDA for a very long time, but things have certainly changed over the last few years. As Mike mentioned, this is now strictly a local telethon. And we know a lot of people have been hurting with the economy and since the pandemic started. But let's remember that kids and adults with muscular dystrophy, they're among the most vulnerable. So just a common cold can be deadly for someone with MD. So you can imagine how terrifying the last few years with COVID has been. So let's start things off with a bang. We're going to have a really good time tonight. It's very simple. You can text GIVE MDA, one word, GIVE MDA, to 314-425-5355. You can also go to ksdk.com/donate. That is ksdk.com/donate. Thank you in advance. Let's get back to Mike.
And now we'd like to introduce you to another member of our team, someone who is always there in St. Louis when there is a cause worth fighting for. From Today in St. Louis, let's welcome in Rennie Knott. Hi, Rennie.
Good evening, Mike. It is so good to be up at this hour, be a part of such a powerful night, the show of strength. Behind me, this is the star wall. Right now, our galaxy has a few stars up there, but I want to see this looking like the Milky Way. Stars everywhere, shining brightly, because this wall is the wall where you can have an effect on MDA. You can give, you can make a difference, and it starts tonight right here. I'm gonna give you the amounts real quick. $100, that'll get us a blue star on the wall. $250, that gets us a silver star on the wall. The gold stars behind me, that's if you give $500 or more. But I want to emphasize something to you. Every little bit counts. So even if all you can give tonight is $1, $5, $10, go ahead and do it. Because at the end of the night, all that money is going to add up and it is going to be a difference maker for us. If there's one thing that this pandemic has taught us, folks, is that we're all in this together and that we all must do our share to make a difference to help out our fellow man. So tonight, I want you guys to do what Albert Pujols did today for the St. Louis Cardinals against the Cubs. I want you to step to the plate and I want you to swing for the fence and hit a home run for MDA. Mike, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of such a wonderful night. I'm looking forward to this wall behind me being nothing but stars.
I agree, Rennie. Thanks so much. And Albert Pujols, a home run today. That was fantastic. And maybe we'll hit a home run tonight. Well, when you've been doing this telethon as long as I have, I can tell you that there is a lot of heartbreak. Some of these diseases, like Duchenne muscular dystrophy, can be deadly. But now, thanks to your donations over the years, there is hope. And hope is what one local family is holding on to.
Okay. Oh, we got another one?
As far as 10-year-old Dean Alessi is concerned,
That feel cool?
the best gift his parents ever gave him was his little brother.
That feel funny?
Dean has wanted a brother or sister since since he was like 3 or 4. It's just such a sweet thing to see the two of them interact with each other.
You put it on your head.
In this house, there's never an energy shortage.
Hey, buddy.
Even though Holden is just 17 months old,
Are you going looking for mommy?
he tries to always keep up with his big brother.
Have fun in that room.
From the time that he was just a little baby, a couple weeks old, we joked around how we shouldn't have named him Holden because you could never set him down.
Here, look.
This brotherly love is comforting for Mom and Dad
You just want mommy, all the time mommy.
because their closeness today may be Holden's strength tomorrow. When Holden was just an infant, he fell ill on a family vacation.
He had a virus and just didn't seem to be getting better.
One test led to another, and then another, and then another, and finally a diagnosis.
We both just sobbed and burst into tears.
3 words changed the Alessi's life: Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
What did you know about Duchenne muscular dystrophy?
Not a lot. Honestly, I mean, I knew probably what 99% of other people tell you, Mike, is Jerry Lewis telethon, you know?
Push it, push, push.
Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a genetic disorder, typically in boys,
Oh, this is your brother's. Remember this one?
that causes the muscles to become weak.
Ready?
Yay!
And it's progressive, meaning it gets worse as you get older.
I like catching that ball. It's so fun when Mommy does that.
What scares you?
My son dying before me. I don't want to watch him get sick.
But with this family, Duchenne dystrophy is in for a fight. At the MDA Walk in the spring, a group of friends and family called Holden's Heroes helped raise $10,000 for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And MDA is helping to fund some promising new drugs that actually rebuild muscle tissue.
I have to be hopeful. There's no other way to look at it. I can't scare myself into inaction or into just pretending like it's not there and like it doesn't exist. Like I have to be hopeful. Oh, we gonna put the strawberries in with the graham crackers?
That's why around here, the day and the hour is always now.
There you go, bud. It's a good strawberry.
You know, honestly, Mike, I try not to focus too much on anything past today.
Baseball's time.
Okay, ready?
A little harder.
He doesn't know it yet,
Ready? Oh.
Yeah.
but there's one young boy who won't face his challenges alone
It's kind of cool.
because Big Brother is watching.
One of the most caring kids I've ever met.
Okay.
We're back here live at Grant's Farm with the Alessi family. Thank you guys very much for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Just tell me about this journey for you guys and how difficult it has been.
I mean, it's been very difficult. Yeah, it's been really hard. It's sad and it's scary, but our first appointment with the doctor, even they gave us so much hope with all the medical advances and things like that are happening. So that's what we kind of have to cling to, because there's a grieving process. You know, like you want certain things for your kids, and he may not have those things, but he's going to have an amazing life no matter what, and we're going to do everything we can, and you know, amazing organizations like the Muscular Dystrophy Association will help with that, you know.
Right. And Rob, it just seems like you guys have a lot of support from friends and family, as well as we saw at the Muscle Walk.
Absolutely, Mike. You know, it's like Amber said, it's been a kind of a tough journey, and it's going to change quite a bit. We're only at the beginning, but we've had nothing but support from family, friends, co-workers, just the community outreach that people that we didn't even know were there have stepped in to provide support, and the community has been great, and it's been very nice knowing that it's not something that we'll ever have to worry about walking through alone. And there's people who've been through it, and there's people that are going through it now, and there's power in knowing that we're not the only ones. So
And so if you were to speak to the parents out there who may be thinking about making a donation tonight, what would you say?
I would say every dollar counts. I would just say that this is an amazing organization, and it's so wonderful to know that even for a rare disease like Duchenne muscular dystrophy, there are treatments like in the works right now, and you know, all the donations go toward helping the research and for all those treatments, so that someday he might have an extended life, he might be able to walk longer, and all of those things.
Right.
So it's so helpful.
Maybe he's going to be a broadcaster, right? Right, Holden?
Someday.
I think. So Dean, can you tell everybody to just say give MDA? Can you just tell everybody to give to MDA?
Yeah, sure. Give to MDA, pretty much.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Is that your best pitch?
I don't know.
A little more gusto.
A little more gusto. Come on. Say give MDA.
Give to MDA.
Good job. How about a high five? The Alessi family, thank you guys very much for being here. Ann.
Thanks, Mike. Since we're raising money for MDA tonight, we want to share some information about the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And when it comes to MDA, it is all about the life we live.
It's all about the life we live. It's all about the moments we share, how we care, how we give, stronger together along the way. It's all about the life we live today. We will fight when we need to, with truth we empower. We face down the moments that we did not choose. We lead with conviction, embracing each hour, and with every advancement we shout out the
There could be an historic breakthrough in conquering the most common and most deadly form of muscular dystrophy.
Can't wait to see what this journey brings with all of us together.
They've made summer camp possible. They've given us care centers. They're giving us the best care possible.
When MDA reached out to us, we felt like we weren't alone, marooned on an island anymore.
The MDA has sponsored our research from the early days and continues to sponsor research for our ALS patients, and that's extremely important.
I'm going to college because I want to ultimately cure my disease.
You can face the challenges that come with muscular dystrophy, and you can be successful. It's not just about where your life isn't going, it's about where your life is going.
As an adult with 2 kids, I was diagnosed. In life, you have to learn how to adapt quickly. I have spent most of my life learning to adapt and make things work in my way. To me, adapting translates to living.
Well, I never thought that in my lifetime I would see such a turnabout in outcome and outlook for our patients who now have hope and who have a better quality of life.
Earlier this year, I achieved a really important milestone for me. I celebrated my 54th birthday, which is remarkable in that it represents 3 times the length of life that had been predicted for me when I was first diagnosed with muscular dystrophy in 1976.
We will never stop advocating. Our vision is a world where inclusion is the norm, where people see possibilities instead of limitations, and where no challenge is too big to overcome.
It's all about the life we live. It's all about the moments we share, how we care, how we give, stronger together along the way. It's all about the life we live today. It's all about the life we live today. It's all about the life we live.
Studios. Hi, Scott.
We are here on Television Plaza, actually inside the studio, and you guys are out there at Grant's Farm, and I take it the rain has let up for you, as promised. That's good. So let's talk tonight about jeans for a second. And we're not talking about the kind of jeans you wear. We're talking about those units of heredity that make our eyes brown or blue, or our height tall or short. Now, what you may not know is that genes are also a code that have to be decoded. And MDA-supported scientists have figured out that the body can be coaxed into decoding genetic messages differently from the way nature planned. That way, the genes that sometimes carry muscle diseases from one generation to the next can be blocked. Now, this research continues every day, and the goal, of course, is ending muscular dystrophy for future generations. But research, of course, as we know, is expensive, and that's why we need your help. So tonight, we ask you to give what you can. You can do that by texting Give MDA, that's one word, Give MDA, to 314-425-5355. You can also go to ksdk.com/donate. We're here in the studio, but we'll send it back out to Grant's Farm now and Mike Bush.
All right, Scott, thanks very much. Thanks for being part of this telethon once again. Scott comes back year after year because he knows how important this cause really is. You remember this line? I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That's what Baseball Hall of Famer Lou Gehrig said to Yankee fans despite being diagnosed with ALS. Well, a local man who had something in common with Lou Gehrig also felt lucky, even though he had that same terrible disease.
Yep. Beautiful day.
Clark, come here. Come here, buddy.
To the Thyers, family is not an important thing, it's everything.
I'm finding out that our family is kind of rare.
I think it's always supposed to be 7. Wasn't it supposed to be 76 today?
On any given Sunday, you might find 40 or 50 people at this house in Bunker Hill, Illinois.
Betty, you want to give Papa a drink?
On a holiday, there might be double that.
Some people call it chaos, we call it family, so.
Cindy and John Thayer got married when they were teenagers, and they had 8 kids.
They were determined to raise the 8 of us and make sure we were all had everything we need and successful.
45 years later, there are 25 grandkids with 2 great-grandchildren on the way. But now this circle of strength is facing its greatest test. Just a few months ago, doctors gave John, the family patriarch, a diagnosis of 3 letters that should never go together: ALS.
I literally hit the floor. I think I was to my knees. Hard to believe.
Here?
Okay,
And I gotta get his glass.
A myotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, is a deadly neurological disease that affects muscle movement. You lose your ability to walk, to chew, even to breathe.
It's like exercises.
He's been on a breathing machine 24/7 since about March. No longer can use his arms, legs.
I'm gonna go ahead and flush.
Ask him and John will tell you that in one way, he's actually grateful.
Oh, thank God it wasn't my family. One of my kids are my grandkids. That's really how I dealt with it. I don't challenge the disease. That's my path.
Oh, I gotta sit you up.
So you ready?
Relying on others doesn't come easy for this long-time over-the-road trucker.
Yeah, we had to put the gate bills.
But everybody in the family is now a caregiver.
This is my new legs.
There we go, that's how you get around.
And I said, when I want to take care of you, Dad, don't tell me no. Don't. Maybe that's how I deal with it. So just let me do that. And he said, okay.
There you go.
Instead of counting the days, the Thyers are determined to make every day count.
Give me kisses, Claire Bear.
Which is why they say they're grateful to the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Oh, good girl.
They helped line us up and show us where to go and what to do. We'd be lost without them.
I'm so hungry and I'm not eating.
Never has a large, loving family been more important.
I may be the richest guy on the face of the earth. I beat out Bill Gates for sure.
John Thayer is on a path no one should ever have to take.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you so much.
You too, baby.
But he won't be walking it alone. Unfortunately, shortly after doing that piece a few years ago, we lost John. See, that's the thing about ALS. It's deadly and there is no cure, so we have to keep working to find one. And joining me now live here at Grant's Farm is Angie Thayer. And you know, the one thing I know about your family is that you're strong and it's growing every single day. I mean, it has really grown since we did that story.
That is something that hasn't changed. In 2 days, it'll be 2 short days, it'll be 4 long years since we lost Dad. In that amount of time, we've had 7 babies born. Last week, Bo Walter, we have another one. And Dad would have probably looked at him and said, look at the paws on him, he's gonna be tall. We have a very strong family. But the thing about ALS is it'll bring you to your knees. We were well equipped prior to that. I mean, we were raised in a fashion that you don't quit. The thing about ALS is that you have to stare it in the eyes of your loved one and know that inevitably it's death. You know, it's costly to care for someone with ALS, but you can't put a price on what we share as a family. So my dad was able to remain in his home and the comfort of his home with his family 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's how we took care of him. That's not the luxury that most people have.
Right.
You'll have a loss of income, and then now you have to provide care. So the MDA coming in and working with WashU with their clinic, that's how it all ties together. My dad knew full well that we were blessed beyond measure. You would think that we'd fall apart, but in reality, we actually got stronger. When you see someone who has, raised you, rise above the challenge of something so humbling as ALS, it only inspires you to do better and be better.
So why, Angie, should people give tonight? Why should the people out there, pick up the phone or go to ksdk.com and make a donation?
The simplest answer is because of everything ALS takes. It takes the person's independence. It takes their ability to function. It takes their income. We need more research to be done. We need medications to prevent this. I had a 3-letter word, Dad. ALS took it. I don't think anybody else's mom or dad needs to go. If we can get together and band together like our family did and face it, you can move mountains. That's why I would say donate, because of everything it takes.
Thank you always for being here. We really do appreciate it, and my
Thanks for
love to
having
your
me.
family.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's go to Ann.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Angie. And now here's a word from someone who makes their living using his muscles all the time in the National Football League.
Hey St. Louis, I'm Naheem Hines, 2022 National Spokesperson for the Muscular Dystrophy Association and professional football player. My greatest strength comes from my family members living with muscular dystrophy, especially my mom. The MDA Care Center she goes to provides amazing support, and that is true for families across the country. Your donation today means so much. MDA is leading innovation in research, care, and advocacy for the neuromuscular disease community. Visit the website on your screen to make a donation. Scan the QR code on your screen to make a donation. Thank you for tuning in today to hear the stories of our families, and thank you for your continued support of the MDA mission for all these years. Shout out to Mike Bush and the KSDK team for the years of dedication and commitment to our MDA families. As I always say, together we fight. Thank you, St. Louis.
We mentioned earlier that you have the chance to become a star on this telethon by getting on our star wall. So let's go back to Rennie Knott. Looks like you got a few more, Rennie.
We have a few, Ann. Definitely have a few more, but I want this entire wall to be covered by stars. Let me point out some of the stars that we received so far tonight. We've got a blue star here, that's Susan Gate. Want to say thank you to Carrie Cupp for her blue star as well. Got a couple of silver stars over here. Judith Welker, thank you. Keith Gordon, thank you very much. We also received some more of our gold stars. This one right over here. Sean Gorman, thank you very much. This is Don Pulveretti. I hope I said that correctly. We've got a lot of stars up here, folks. A lot of people are giving so far, but the night is just beginning. I really want this to become, like I said earlier, its own galaxy. Let's fill this wall up with stars. Hey, gather some friends together and go, hey, I'll give 25, you give 25. Next thing you know, you pile it up, you could get one of these stars up here. Here's how the stars break down. First of all, $100, that gets you a blue star. $250, a silver star. $500 or more, that will get you a gold star. As you can see, we have quite a few gold stars behind me so far on the star wall. It's very simple to give to, folks. Just text GIVE MDA, that's all one word, to 314-425-5355, or you can go to kck.com/donate. Again, that's kck.com/donate. Let's make this wall shine tonight like a galaxy right here in St. Louis itself. Mike?
Thanks, Rennie. Well, every year, MDA picks a goodwill ambassador, someone who can talk about the mission to wipe out these neuromuscular diseases. And you're about to meet one of those goodwill ambassadors, a young lady battling a tough disease with determination and a smile.
Oh, is it my turn? Yeah. Yeah, it's your turn. I just went.
Some people are like magnets.
Oh, happy day.
You're just drawn to them. That is most certainly the case for 11-year-old Tilly McRoberts.
Hello, can you see me now?
On this day, she's just home from school,
I had gym, flyer time, math.
and no one is more excited to be back in class.
Instead of it being one class, they actually put 3 elementary schools to combine, so there's more kids to talk to.
Tilly has started middle school after a summer of travel. There was camping and there was the beach, but the beach is something she'd prefer to skip next time.
I was sitting on the beach and the wave, knocked me out.
Oh no!
Well, it didn't knock me out, they just,
Knocked you over?
Yes.
Yeah, oh.
So I don't like the beach.
You don't like the beach anymore.
No.
As she explained to me, while other kids could run from the waves, that's not really an option for her.
I'm in a wheelchair because I have a disability called SMA, short for spinal muscular atrophy.
SMA most affects babies and children and makes it hard for them to use their muscles. Just breathing and coughing can sometimes be difficult, which means for Tilly's family, the COVID-19 pandemic is even more frightening than it is for the rest of us.
Literally, as it hit, Tilly came down with the respiratory virus and was in Barnes for 12 days in the ICU, and obviously very nervous that it was COVID.
Fortunately, it wasn't COVID, and she recovered. Unfortunately, the pandemic has canceled the last 2 years of her favorite summertime activity, MDA camp.
It's a sleepaway camp where you get to be with people and make new friends that are just like you, and it's all inclusive for everybody, and it's just the best week of the summer. Oh Mom, look, there's a baby one.
But Tilly's attitude has always been, when everything isn't the best, you still make the best of everything. And that includes living with SMA.
As much of a challenge it is, it's a challenge. It's not something that will define who Tilly is.
In other words, mind over muscles.
Look, it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. One of my favorite things is learning about presidents. So I like social studies because we get to learn about the past.
And the past has her thinking about the future. She tells me after she becomes a lawyer to advocate for the disabled, she plans to run for president.
Trying to making life more inclusive for everybody.
Tilly is already making speeches as an ambassador for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, touting some of their new breakthrough drugs.
It helps because it helps make us stronger so we can do more things and become more inclusive. Alrighty.
If you plan to stop at nothing, then attitude is everything.
Okay, come on.
Tilly McRoberts, a magnetic force of hope.
Good girl, Rory. Good girl. You're doing such a good job.
And we are very lucky tonight because joining me now live here at Grant's Farm is Tilly McRoberts and her family. Hi guys, thanks so much for being here. We were gonna do an interview earlier this year, but you guys were off traveling. Where did you guys go?
We went to Northern Ireland this year.
You did? How come you went there?
My dad's from there, so we went there as a trip because my sister's never been before.
And I noticed his accent, yeah. So tell me how life is going for you. I know you are a high school girl.
No, I'm a middle school.
Middle school, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm in 7th grade.
Oh my God, I'm trying to get you older than you are. 7th grade, okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how school is these days.
It's going good. It's a little hectic because you have to swap class to classes, but it's going good.
Yeah. So, you have been a Goodwill ambassador for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that role and why it was important for you to do it.
It was important for me to do it to show advocacy for MDA, but it was a little difficult because I got it when the pandemic happened, so I didn't get to do much, but it was fun for what I did get to do.
And why was it important for you to do it?
So that I could spread advocacy for SMA and raise money for the camps.
But why is that important? Why do you think it's important that people know about muscular dystrophy?
So that they can help all the kids that are coming and getting them treatments to help progress their lives more.
One of the things that I've noticed about this young lady is how strong she is. And ever since the beginning, since the diagnosis, it seems she has been this way. I'm going to reach over you, Tilly.
Yeah, Tilly is how you see her today. She loves life. She seizes opportunities. She just likes to get out and do everything that everyone else would do. And Tilly doesn't see her disability as something that holds her back. She sees it as something that's give her opportunities like this. She said before, none of her friends get to do this. They get to be on TV. So, Tilly just looks at it that way. She sees it as a great opportunity to get out and, show the world more of Tilly.
But that's part of kind of your family philosophy. You don't use the word can't.
No, I think Tilly's disability informs every part of her life and has transformed our lives in such a positive, wonderful way. And we're so proud of how she advocates for herself and she advocates for her friends. And we're just, goodness, and for her sister. We couldn't be prouder and so thrilled and honored to be a part of this wonderful community.
And Tilly, if people are thinking about making a donation tonight, what would you tell them?
I'd say that'd be really helpful because MDA is a really good organization for all the kids with muscular dystrophies so that they can go to camp and meet people like them.
And hopefully we'll have camp next year.
Hopefully. That would be the dream.
That would be. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much as always for being here. We really appreciate it. And good luck in high school. Middle school. Let's go to Ann.
No better advocate than Tilly, that's for sure. To keep medical care on track, MDA has a care center, and you may not know this, it is right here in St. Louis at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Patients receive care from doctors, therapists, and other specialists to prevent and treat common complications of muscular dystrophy, and sometimes a special bond between the doctor and the patient are formed. To explain, here's Dr. Troxler and Ethan.
Dr. Troxler, he tries to make up jokes, but he fails miserably.
What's the difference between boogers and broccoli? Kids don't eat broccoli.
When Ethan comes to our care center, he is seen by myself, and I'm most interested in his pulmonary and sleep issues. It is critically important that patients who have neuromuscular diseases have access to the specialists they need so that they can get the care that they can only access in places like MD care centers.
They bring all the doctors, all of Ethan's doctors, into one place, which is very convenient for us.
So we have social workers, we have physical therapists, we have respiratory therapists, we have palliative care doctors, we have rehab physicians and neurologists and pulmonologists, all of whom bring all their different skill sets to provide the most beneficial care for patients like Ethan and others with neuromuscular diseases.
Having the care center gives us a place that they are very knowledgeable about Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Having a place where everybody knows exactly what's going on, they've been treating this for years, is so important.
For the last decade, we've been talking about, there's things coming. But this last 3 years, we've actually had the arrival of therapies where we can now give patients therapies like nusinersen, which we couldn't have done even 2 years ago. I think his prognosis is much brighter today than it's ever been before.
Over 150 clinics around the country make up that MDA Care Center network, and it's all thanks to you and your donations. Let's keep that care going by giving whatever you can tonight. And now here's another important word from 5 on Your Side Scott Connell, who is back at the 5 on Your Side studio. Scott.
And, we are talking about muscular dystrophy, and for 70 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association has been committed to transforming the lives of people living with muscle diseases. So, have a little bit of a story here. We know St. Louis is a baseball town, right? So last weekend, 2 of my best friends from college came into town to see the Cardinals. I bring this up because Kathy 2 years ago was diagnosed with ALS. So traveling's a little more of a challenge. We managed to get everybody together last weekend. She's a huge baseball fan, loves Albert Pujols. Yes, we had a great time at the ball game, took her wheelchair right on in, zipped right through. But, there's a lot of research that covers MD into ALS, and since its inception, MDA has committed more than $1 billion to accelerate the delivery of therapies and cures. Now, Kathy's taking medications. Doctors tell her what to take. Now, research they've supported is directly linked to life-changing therapies across multiple neuromuscular diseases. So, we want you to help us now. and I'm going to do this for Kathy. If I can get 5 people to make $100 donation right now, just to honor Kathy, I'm going to match that, and we want you to get that blue star up there so that Rennie has something to talk about. So if I could just 5 people could help us out with that, you can go and see it on the bottom of your screen. Give MDA. You can text that to 314-425-5355. Certainly give what you can. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Scott. And we're here for your friend as well. All right, we have a lot of special guests tonight, including our next guest. He's been the MDA's Director of Research, the Director of Science and Technology, and now he is the President and CEO of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. We welcome Dr. Don Wood to St. Louis. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Mike, for doing all of this and putting this on and putting this together. I am so happy to be here, in part, a large part, to thank all you folks in St. Louis who have helped MDA so much. And in Washington University, you have one of the finest neuromuscular disease institutes in the world.
And I know you've been on a little whirlwind tour of St. Louis in the last few days, and we saw each other over at Washington University. Tell me about that care center, because you were talking like it's really one of the best care centers in the country.
It's not only a great care center. The people who go to this care center get the finest treatment in the world, what we call a multidisciplinary treatment, pulmonologist, cardiologist, whatever you need. Doctors come to you here. This is incredible. But as important, Dr. Pestronk, the head of the he and I have known each other for years. He has put together a research group that is at the very forefront of new treatments for genetic diseases. Folks, you have to know genetic disease treatments did not exist 15 years ago. Do you know how many FDA-approved neuromuscular disease treatments we have because of all of your support? Over 15 right now, and getting more every year. This is a time when patients are pioneers in their own treatment. We don't know how the outcomes are going to work in every case. And we are learning with them, and many of virtually everybody you're having on the show tonight. I hope everybody is watching, because you are seeing some amazing things, going to college, getting careers.
Right.
I mean, it's fantastic.
And the word, Dr. Wood, that I hear all the time is hope. This is a word that we didn't talk that much about when you and I first started, but we hear that word a lot now.
And now, because it's true, there is hope. The promise, the pipeline of promise, which I call, it didn't have any drugs under treatment before. Now, folks, we have dozens of clinical trials ongoing for the most amazing scientists and physicians working to find treatments for those with neuromuscular disease. Yes, and the other thing I have to say is what I tell doctors now is when you diagnose a patient with a neuromuscular disease, the very next thing you do, prepare them for a clinical trial, because it's coming.
Why is this night so important? Why are donations so important to the Muscular Dystrophy Association?
We can't do it without you. The donations help drive the progress. You saw it earlier that over $1 billion has been raised by MDA on research. Folks, what that $1 billion created was the entire field of neuromuscular disease research. What that $1 billion created was the research that are allowing kids to live longer, to go to school, to have lives, and to be independent. And mark my words, you are seeing more independence from patients than we've ever seen before. That's hope, and that's why we're here tonight. So thank you so much for all you do.
And thank you so much for making the trip to St. Louis, and don't go far, because we're going to need you a little bit later.
I'll be happy to come back.
Dr.
Thanks,
Don Wood. Let's go to Rennie.
Thank you, Mike. I think the song is like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. We've got a lot of stars up here now. Our galaxy is starting to come together. I want to say thank you to the folks who have been donating so far and purchasing the star that we're putting on the wall. Let me point out a few names right now. First of all, I want to say thank you to Deborah Richards for being a part of our night tonight. Kimberly Hang for being here as well. Thomas Gobin for also giving. Sherry Crane, thank you so much. Susan Gateway, Patty Caprellian, Gary Patrick. We've got Pamela Lee over here. Barbara Pullman as well giving. Want to say thank you so much, because as I said before, every little bit counts, and as we add these things up and hopefully get my galaxy going behind me, we're going to make a huge impact for MDA. We've had some stars up here already, and I haven't had a chance to really recognize them. Let me do that right now. These are our gold stars. Right here we have the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll have more on them in just a bit. Over here, Maryville University. Dr. Don Wood, thank you. Donald Wood, thank you very much. Weber Chevrolet, thank you very much. Walgreens and the Hayes family. Now, keep in mind, to get on the star wall, all it takes is $100. A $100 donation gets you a blue star. $250, that will get you a silver star. The gold stars, $500 and up. And I encourage you, call around to your family and friends, get them to make a contribution, and then together, you guys can make a huge contribution and get one of those gold stars, just like the Hayes family did. You can do that, and as I said earlier, we can make a difference. Let me give you that number one more time. You want to text GIVE MDA to 314-425-5355 or go to kck.com/donate and make a difference tonight. Mike?
Okay, Rennie, thanks very much. We have a special guest. Christine Welker with MDA is here to make a presentation. Christine?
I would like to welcome the Team Matthew here, and we have Matthew here front and center. They set out a goal to be the best top fundraising team in St. Louis, and I think maybe even in the country. So we wanted to say thank you to Team Matthew. One of the things we do at MDA is we raise a lot of money to send our kids to camp at no cost to their families. Matthew loves camp, so we wanted to present to you a special presentation. This is artwork from the Mda Art Gallery, which we started over 30 years ago. And what we love about this is that it's artwork that's designed to say that we're going to break down every barrier, and there's no barrier to creativity. So to you, for breaking barriers and raising so much money as Team Matthew.
And you guys were determined this year.
We were. It was tough going, but we set a high goal, and we get close.
Yeah, you sure did.
We don't give up. Tell
everybody how much money you raised.
It was over $40,000.
$40,000.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at all. Matthew, what did you think of that $40,000?
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and you can add to that total. In fact, let's look, guys. You right here. You're going to see it first.
All right.
Our first tote of the night. Let's talk to the control room. Let's roll that first tote of the night, please. Here we go. $11,800. We've got a long way to go, but we're off to a great start. Team Matthew, Christine, thank you very much. Let's go to Ann.
Thank you, Mike. For years, you've seen them out on the street corners and intersections, firefighters collecting money to fill the boot. They've been doing it for more than 60 years, and usually around 100,000 firefighters from all over the country hit the streets. Over the years, they have raised more than $20 million for MDA. Firefighters have played a major role in funding research for muscular dystrophy, and in the last few years, as we've been telling you, some promising new drugs received FDA approval. And our firefighters were hard at work again this year, and joining me now from the Cottleville Fire Protection District is Joshua Gully. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Tell me why you personally got involved and why Cottleville Fire Protection District got involved.
Well, Cottleville is part of the International Association of Firefighters. So, as you probably already saw on TV, the International Association of Firefighters have been involved with MDA for 70 years, which started in Boston. So when I came on, I just fell in love with the MDA. I wanted to be helpful to kids, and what better way than MDA? So I want to help battle the neuromuscular diseases, and this is why I'm here.
And I'm sure COVID probably put a damper on those efforts.
It did, and actually in 2020, the Cottleville firefighters got together, and since we couldn't go out and collect, we got 11,000. I can't remember, it was half of what we had collected before, but we got together and got $11,000 plus of our own money to present to MDA. So
that is wonderful.
Mhm.
And obviously you have a lot of interaction with the St. Louis community.
Yep.
We drive around, we see you guys on the streets doing
Yep.
all of this good work. Describe what it's been like interacting with the community when you guys are doing this campaign.
Well, it's great. We have a kickoff event that we do in the beginning with Chick-fil-A. We do a firefighter on the roof. So we put a firefighter on the roof of Chick-fil-A, and then we raise our ladder truck as the money we raise. So that's kind of our kickoff event. It's a really cool deal. And then just being at the intersections and being able to interact and talk again, and hand the stickers for MDAs. People, fill the boots. It's been great. It's really great to be back.
And please tell people watching that are giving us some of their time and joining us from Grants Farm tonight why it's so important, because it's important to you and it's important to the firefighters you work with. How can you explain to someone who maybe has no involvement before why it is so important?
Well, you know, the neuromuscular diseases have been battled and researched for so long. So to get this funding for the doctors to do the research, do the test groups and stuff like that, and so if you're unfamiliar with it, please get involved and fund, because these are the driving forces for funding to help the doctors, help the research teams to get these cutting edge medications out and help people, children, and ALS as well with neuromuscular diseases. So.
Well said, and thank you to you. Thank you to the Cotterville Fire Protection
You're very
District,
welcome.
and thank you also for keeping us safe and for
You're very
everything you
welcome.
do every day. You have something you wanted to show us?
Yes, this year we collected $27,976.
Woohoo!
So Cotterville likes to be one of the top earners out of local 2665. So we're usually number one. We might have got a number two once or twice.
Hey,
but
that's okay.
yeah,
We want people battling for number one and number two, right?
Absolutely. So-
$27,976. Thank you so much.
very welcome.
This is wonderful. All right. Fantastic. And you know who's going to love this? Rennie Knott. Rennie, this gets a big star.
This will get a gigantic star. It might even get its own galaxy, but you know what? There could be a little bit of a competition going on this year between the fire departments. I've got Tom Moore with me. He's with St. Louis City Fire Department. Cotterville showed up pretty good. What do you guys got going?
We're going to collect about 23,000 this year.
Nice. Now, you have been around this telethon for a number of years. Why is it so important for you to be a part of tonight?
It's always about the kids. It's always about the research and the advances that they're making. It all makes us feel better.
One of the things you guys are doing and going out with the boots and everything else and raising money, what type of reaction do you get from the community, the people who are giving?
Oh, they're always ready to give. They're happy to see us. We're always out there with a smile, shaking the boot.
Is it easy for you to go out there? Easy for you to do this? Do you feel the motivation inside?
Oh yes, we have like 600 firemen hitting the streets all 4 days, and I mean they're excited to do it. They're all excited to help.
Now, of course, we're doing the telethon tonight on Sunday night, but you're telling me that you guys are going to be back at it tomorrow, and really you won't know your total until Tuesday. Yes. So there is a chance that we could go beyond 23?
Yes, I hope so. There's always hopeful with the ball games this weekend. The rain might have slowed us down, but the guys are still trying.
All right, so I want you to look right into the camera there. Look right at Dave Muth, who's manning the camera. And I want you to give your best pitch to the people of St. Louis. When they see you out on the streets tomorrow, what is your pitch to get them to give?
Thank you for helping us help other people. That's our goal.
See? Very simple, very to the point. We're going to get a big star up there for you guys, too, at some point tonight, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. It is going to be a spectacular time, and one of the things I enjoy is the fact that we have our firefighters out here. We have people in our community giving back to our community, because that is so important for a community to watch out for one another, because your neighbors could be somewhat affected by these horrible diseases. Mike?
And firefighters always step up when we have a cause like the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I do want to thank Maryville University. So here's the thing. We ask a couple of local businesses, universities, anybody who would step up and sponsor an hour. And every time I call Dr. Mark Lombardi with Maryville University, they always step up. And we thank them once again. So this hour of the telethon is sponsored by Maryville University, one of the fastest growing universities in the country. You know, one thing we all know is that our bodies are a miracle. You just watch a professional athlete and you can see what happens when our mind and our muscles all work right. It's a lot more complicated for someone with MD, and that's why a local gym that helps you build muscle is muscling up for MDA.
Hello, 430. Let's get into those jumping jacks.
Good things come to those who sweat.
This is where you push yourself. You'll have 20 seconds to recover.
That's what they believe here at Burn Boot Camp in Kirkwood.
Squeezing that booty, good. Intentional movement. We focus on strength training and burst training, bringing women together and their families to become mentally, emotionally, and physically strong.
Find that pace and stick with it.
Chelsea Theodoropoulos owns all 4 Burn Boot Camp locations in the St. Louis area.
You're going to start strong, you're going to finish strong today.
And she believes in the notion that we are all stronger than our excuses.
Pushing it to the very end. You got it. You got it.
What we do here on the floor and part of our culture is celebrating what our bodies can do. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go.
Celebrating our bodies even when you're like 11-year-old Brenna Beffa.
There you go.
And your body works a little differently. When Brenna was a little girl, her parents knew something wasn't quite right. After many trips to the doctor and dozens of tests, there was finally a diagnosis: a muscular dystrophy called mitochondrial myopathy.
My muscles are different. They work differently to where I can't run for a long period of time, like really fast.
Right. Mitochondrial myopathy causes muscle weakness, movement disorders, seizures, an array of other issues. But Brenna refuses to let the disease put a damper on her dreams.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A therapist.
What kind of therapist?
I haven't narrowed it down yet because I've done all types of therapy.
20 seconds in, you've got 20 left.
We all need help to achieve our dreams, and Burn Boot Camp is helping Brenna and kids like her.
There we go, Samantha.
They're raising the bar for giving to the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
2, 1.
We have raised over $1 million so far for the MDA, and it's a really important part of our organization.
MDA is as much a part of this gym as jumping jacks.
There we go, keep that body moving.
Looking at muscle mass.
In fact, the head trainer here in Kirkwood
Losing a little bit of fat at the same time, so
used to head up the local MDA office.
it's really amazing to be able to bring like my past life and then my current together for this event every year and still be able to see the MDA families and have that relationship. Here we go. Good.
Disability doesn't have to be an obstacle to success.
Good job, Brenna.
So being able to see Brenna, look at her in the eyes and see the opportunity of helping her instill confidence and feel strong, it gives me purpose every single day.
Awesome job. Very nice.
4th round here, how can you challenge yourself?
As far as Brenna Beffa is concerned,
Take that deep breath and go.
Burn Boot Camp's workouts are always a tribute
You do not need that break today.
to the heart.
We've got 8.
I think it's very cool and very amazing that they help us.
3, 2, 1.
And speaking of Burn Boot Camp, tell everybody your name.
Yeah, my name is Kira Nolan.
And Burn Boot Camp makes MDA an important part of what they do.
Absolutely. So at Burn Boot Camp, one of the things we really focus on is doing what your body is able to do. And so we love supporting MDA and their mission and the dream of kids to go to kids camp where they can do what they want to do. And so we love supporting them, and we do a fundraiser every year with them. So.
And I know you do a big fundraiser. Tell me about the fundraiser.
Yeah, so this is our 4th year here in St. Louis. We do a Be There Muscle workout is what it's called. This year was at Queenie Park. And we raised over $35,000 this year just here in St. Louis, and so it's always fun to come. We always have some of our MDA families come out. This year Sophia was there, Tilly's been there before on the mic training camp with us, and so we always love doing what we can for those kids.
That's a pretty big number, and you kind of just glazed over it. What was that number again?
So this year is $35,000. It wasn't our biggest year, but
That's
we'll
pretty
take
good.
it.
Thank you so much. We really
Absolutely.
thanks to everybody at Burn Boot Camp.
course, of
$35,000, Ann.
Absolutely fabulous. Thanks, Mike. Now it's time for more thank yous, and we want to thank Sonic Drive-Ins. Right around St. Patrick's Day, local Sonic restaurants were selling shamrocks to raise money for MDA. You could go in, buy a burger, fries, and a shake, and also buy a shamrock. Thanks to Sonic and their patrons, they were able to raise $13,000 for MDA, so we can add that into the tote. Let's get to Rennie.
All right, Ann, thank you so much. We have more very special guests. This is Kevin Block with Walgreens joining me here at the Star Wall. First of all, thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So Walgreens is in the game. Walgreens making a difference. What motivates Walgreens to be a part of a night like today?
I just think MDA, it's a great way for Walgreens to give back to our customers, our patients, and be a part of the community.
So I got to ask you the magic question before we continue on. I see you guys do have a gold star up there. That means at least $500. What is the donation tonight?
I believe we are matching right now.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. So that gives an opportunity for someone to double the funds that go up on this wall tonight, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, wonderful. So tell me more about, you got the family out here. Why is it important for your son to be here tonight? Why is it important for him to know about MDA?
I just think being a part of helping change is great, and him seeing that our time, people donating, can help make a change.
It's been a very hectic couple of years, and I know Walgreens plays a huge part in helping us squash this pandemic and everything else. But with so much going on, is it possible for someone to be able to give to everything out there, or should people, in your opinion, central in on one particular thing and give all they can?
I just think give what you can. Everyone's in a different place right now. Whatever you can give, please donate tonight to MDA.
All right. Kevin, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to Walgreens. Going to match tonight, so go ahead and get those donations going. Become a part of our Star Wall. Join Walgreens with one of those $500 plus gold stars up there. Looks good. Looks real good. Mike?
Let's go to Scott.
All right, we're coming back downtown, and we want to remind everyone that this hour of the telethon is sponsored by Maryville University. It's one of the fastest growing universities in the country. Dr. Mark Lombardi and his team at Maryville have been great supporters of the Muscular Dystrophy Association for many years now, and they always come through when we need them. So a very special thank you to Maryville for sponsoring this hour of the MDA Telethon. And a reminder, when we talk about MDA's fight against neuromuscular diseases, we're talking about an all-out war, literally, on more than 40 different diseases. 40 plus enemies makes for a tough fight, but with your help, MDA is making progress through medical care. We're helping people live longer and more independently than ever before. Through worldwide research, we're improving treatments and searching for cures. One day we won't have to have this telethon. Please make a pledge for as much as you can afford. You can text GIVE-MDA, all one word, and you might have to autocorrect it. Autocorrect, because your phone may try to change that. But GIVE-MDA as one word to 314-425-5355. And anything helps, Mike.
It sure does, Scott. And speaking of help, Olivia, why don't you introduce everybody who is standing here?
So this is my mom, this is Bodie and Jacob. We are the Flying Pigs Foundation.
The Flying Pigs Foundation, they raise a lot of money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association every year at the Muscle Walk and throughout the year. We know the Hahn family, part of this, they could not be here because I think Grant got COVID, yes. I think. So hopefully he is recovering quickly. But why are you so dedicated to raising money to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, Olivia?
So research is really big for our family. Not knowing what muscle disease that I do have, or in my family, and Bodie, research is really huge for us.
Therese, come on in here, because we have a special award for you guys because you come through every single year for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Therese, you want to say something?
Sure. We are so thrilled that your family has done all that they have done to help push forward research, and we are presenting you with the Tribute Award as a great thanks for all you've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
You guys going to be back next year? Promise?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thank you guys very much, and congratulations on the big award.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Rennie.
All right, thank you, Mike. It is such a powerful night tonight to hear these stories and to see everybody come together to help out this cause. My star wall behind me is indeed becoming the galaxy that I spoke of earlier. I want to give a huge shout out, by the way, to Claudia Bush. That's Mike Bush's wife. She helped put these stars together. She's hanging the stars up for me, and it really is a team effort out here. We've got a crew all along the walkway here getting us pumped up for tonight. And getting these stars on the wall, you are getting me pumped up at home. So first of all, I want to give a shout out here to Colette Boss. Thank you so much with a blue star there. I got Mary Margaret Kleba, I believe that's how you say it. She gets a silver star. I've got Lita Red with a blue star as well. We've got more of our blue stars over here. Here it is. I'm going to try this name and I may not get it right. Bata Pullman, I believe that's how you say it. Hopefully that is correct because she's got a blue star. Paula Lee's got a blue star. Kathy Davis has a blue star. Right up here, I think we mentioned Gary Patrick earlier with his blue star. Santiago Plurad up there with a gold star. Want to say thank you to Daniel Martino as well with a gold star. So please, folks, if you have that opportunity tonight to give please do. And if you don't have enough to give to get a star, don't worry about it. Give what you can, because it's going to add up and it's going to make a difference. Let me give you those numbers once again so you know which star means what. $100, that gets you a blue star. $250 or more, that gets you a silver star. $500 and up, that gets you a gold star. I would love to see this entire wall full of gold stars, but they all glisten under the lights tonight, so whatever you can give will indeed make a difference. Mike?
Let's go to Ann.
Thank you, Rennie. Thank you, Mike. Joining me now is Sarah Bernard. She is the co-founder and chief operating officer at Inclusively, the technology-centered inclusion solution and employment platform for job seekers with disabilities, mental health conditions, and chronic illnesses. And Kristen Welker from the MDA. This is a very unique service. This is not something that, there are not companies like this all around the United States, correct?
That is correct. So I would first of all say thank you to the Show of Strength. I'm a mother of a child living with muscular dystrophy.
Fireworks, I think.
Fireworks.
Not
Thank
ours,
you.
not ours.
Thank you. So I'll talk loud, which I do well. But anyway, yes, first of all, thank you for everything that you're doing. A lot of what we're doing through all of your support is that we, our families, are living longer, more independent lives. And because of the work that you're doing and all of your viewers and all the donations, we're able to see people go into young adulthood and also gainful employment. So one of the things that we're focused on is not just research, but what we call disability, equity, and inclusion and diversity. Disability is diversity, and we partnered with Sarah, who the fireworks are for,
yes,
at
definitely.
Inclusively, because she's helping us hire dozens of people living with disability.
And I do want to ask you about that. Explain to people, you work with the employees finding the right jobs, but then also explain what you do for the employers.
Yeah, so we're a technology platform that helps employers hire job seekers with accommodations at scale. We've got 50,000 active job seekers from the disability community on Inclusively, and we work with employers like Microsoft and Dell and JP Morgan, but we're especially excited about our partnership with MDA. They initially came to us as an employment resource for their community, but very quickly realized that they were going to become a client and are now hiring candidates from disability to their own MDA team as well.
And this is a service that really is needed because there can be some stigma in the workplace.
Yeah, there are large misconceptions around employing people with disabilities. I think two of them are that accommodations are really expensive and that people with disabilities can only do certain types of jobs. But 95% of accommodations, they cost nothing or they're $500 or less. And people with disabilities can do any type of job. It's really just what skills do you have, what accommodations do you need, and as an employer, what skills do you need and what type of accommodations can you make?
All right. And what we love about our partnership is we like to say it's the pipeline of promise, because we have a pipeline of talent, and thanks to Sarah and her team, they're putting all of this talent to work. So thank you.
Thank you to both of you. Thank you for being with us. And the fireworks are for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
And I think the fireworks are for our donors who are giving to the Muscular Dystrophy Association tonight. Thank you very much. You can hear those fireworks. Well, now to one of my favorite people in the world. Sarah Schweigel was born with SMA, spinal muscular atrophy. Her mom was told that life expectancy wasn't long. Well, Sarah has defied the odds on so many levels. She's smart, she's successful, and she's making a difference for others. And now, with new drugs, she's doing things she's never done before.
This one's not too bad. I've been on a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to New Orleans?
Just because you lose use of your muscles doesn't mean you lose hope.
We're making it work.
Sarah Schweigel has always let hope and determination shape her future. Now 28, she's a friend and mentor to young girls like 11-year-old Tilly McRoberts. After all, when you're young and still figuring out where you're going, ask someone who's been there before.
Mommy, I want a water balloon.
Sarah was born with SMA, spinal muscular atrophy, a disease that progressively weakens the muscles to the point that you can't even cough, which makes a common cold uncommonly frightening.
I spent a lot of time in Children's Hospital.
But the time she remembers most is that week every summer at MDA camp.
I got to go be with all of my friends, be away from my parents, and have someone that I knew and trusted to take care of me. And that was so important for me as a disabled child, because I got to learn what it was like to be independent.
What would you like to tell them?
Please call.
Through our local MDA telethon broadcasts, we've watched Sarah grow up. She'd be right by my side every Labor Day. And then Sarah went national.
I told everyone at MDA that I think you're so adorable.
It was on the national MDA telethon in 2001 that Jerry Lewis asked Sarah to be MDA's Goodwill Ambassador. That year, Sarah was the face of the fight, not just for St. Louis, but for the entire country.
Well, I got to travel across the country and speak with all of the sponsors for the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
It turned out to be good training for what was to come. After getting a bachelor's degree at Maryville University and a master's in public administration at St. Louis U, Sarah is now the president of Festability, which celebrates the disability community through education, empowerment, and unity.
My prayer was always that God keep her happy and give her work to do, and He listened.
And apparently he's still listening. This is something Sarah is able to do that she's never been able to do in her whole life.
Really long time.
Thanks to a new drug called Evrysdi.
I can now lift my arm up off of my armrest, which is something I haven't been able to do since I was a small child. Got it.
And yes, she opened that bag of chips.
Places will meet those minimum ADA requirements.
Throughout her life, there have been plenty of obstacles in her way. For Sarah Schweigel, those obstacles were just stepping stones. She chose hope, making anything possible. She's an amazing young lady, and like I say, one of my favorite people in the world. Let's send it over to Scott.
Now, Mike, and it's always good to see and hear how she's moving along. I mean, you know, for some of our folks that we see from years to year, we don't get to see how things turn out. And for some, it doesn't end like we would like. But Sarah is one of those examples of things that are really doing well. And it's because you give. MDA is getting closer to that ultimate goal of finding cures and treatments for people with muscle diseases. But how does MDA help today? Well, they do that while they offer services at more than 150 MDA care centers around the country. Physical therapists, they help patients maintain muscle strength and mobility. Respiratory therapists help with breathing problems. Speech therapists help patients when the disease limits the ability to speak. MDA works every day to make lives better, and we have our own care center here in St. Louis. And you can help too. You can give. Go to the website, ksdk.com/donate, or you can text GIVE MDA to 314-425-5355. And as we go into this 9 o'clock hour, another reminder that this hour of the telethon is sponsored by Maryville University. Again, one of the fastest growing universities in the U.S. Dr. Mark Lombardi and his team at Maryville continue to be great supporters of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They have for many years now, and they always come through when we need them. So a very special thank you to Maryville for sponsoring the MDA Telethon once again this year. And Mike, I think we're coming up on a tote check time.
Yeah, all right.
Excited.
Scott, ready, and let's check the tote. Roll it, please. Whoa!
All right.
Woohoo! $92,800. That is quite a jump. Thank you, St. Louis. An hour to go on our Show of Strength Telethon.
Live from Grants Farm, it's the 2022 Show of Strength, a telethon to benefit the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And here are your hosts, Mike Bush and Ann Ulrich.
And this hour is sponsored by Weber Chevrolet and the Weber family of dealerships. They've been supporters of MDA ever since Skip Weber first came out to MDA camp and met a young man named Zach Winkle and all the kids and counselors at camp. So our thanks again, as we do every year, to the Weber family of dealerships. Welcome back to Grants Farm as the 2022 MDA Telethon continues. Just text the words GIVE MDA to 314-425-5355, and you can help make a difference in the lives of kids and adults with muscular dystrophy. Now, sometimes people ask, okay, I know my money goes to research, but is there a way I can directly help the kids? Well, yes, because some of the money that we raise will help send kids to MDA camp. Of course, we've had to cancel camp the last couple of years because of the pandemic, but we're hoping to be back next summer, and to say MDA camp is special is an understatement. A photograph can only capture a moment.
3, 2, 1, everybody say cheese.
Cheese! And there aren't enough gigabytes to capture all the special moments at MDA camp.
MDA camp is the best week of the year.
Whether it's catching a fish,
Kiss it. Oh.
or taking a dip in the pool. This is a place where kids with muscular dystrophy can just be kids.
There's no limits.
16-year-old Jonna Dukes has something called Marison Deficient Congenital MD.
All right, we're doing 3 this time.
Which doesn't allow your body to function as it should.
Hit it hard. His fingers.
She wasn't sure camp was the right place for her.
Should we do the other 2 and then we'll finish getting that one in?
My doctor was like, oh, you should go to MDA camp. And I'm like, no, I don't do people. And my mom was like, oh, you should go. And I'm like, no, I don't do people.
We're the latest in the cabin though, for sure.
But it turns
We're the
out
last 2 out the door.
people, like her counselor, Kara Wogtek, is the reason she comes back every summer.
You just have these like long-lasting friendships that you know that somebody's there for you.
Joseph Alexander feels the same way.
It had me hooked from the start. I mean, it was unreal, just the bond that you built with those kids.
Come on, Jace, you're gonna lose it.
Alexander and his sister Jacqueline volunteer every year
There we go. There we go.
to support their brother Jace,
There's a whole bunch down there.
who says it isn't always easy to be different.
Yeah. All right. It takes no time at all.
When everyone goes off to do their own sport or hang out, like playing football or basketball, that's hard to sit there and watch.
But at camp, instead of standing out because of his wheelchair,
I know.
Jace stands out because of who he is.
Looks like the same one as yesterday.
He doesn't want to leave. And as soon as we get home, he's already looking forward to the next year.
I'm coming in.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
These kids, this is the first time often that someone else is caring for them. And when someone else cares for you, you begin to have a voice and you begin to learn how to advocate.
When you face tough challenges every other week of the year, it's nice to know that there's one place where it's all good.
Let go the fear, don't let it linger, and just remember one thing. It's all good. It's all good.
MDA Camp, a week of moments that turn into memories.
Remember when you're feeling bad. It's all good.
There's a magic at camp.
It's all good.
There is indeed a magic at camp, and one person who experienced that magic is Skip Weber. I mentioned Weber and Weber Chevrolet, and a sponsor of this hour of the telethon. Skip, you're back year after year, and it was an experience at camp that kind of changed your life.
Oh, sure, yeah. It was something, this is a charity that we've always believed in, but when we saw how much the kids enjoy the camp and what they get out of it, and like you and I were just talking off camera, laughter and happiness and joy and looking forward to it is so great for fighting this type of thing. It's so great for keeping going and keeping them strong. These are some of the most courageous and strong kids and individuals you'll ever meet. And I think camp is a huge thing for that.
And we were talking about what it means to the parents as well.
Right, it gives everybody, I mean, a 24/7 job. It gives you a week off. It's a vacation for both sides.
And so why does Weber Chevrolet come back year after year? Why is it important to you guys?
Well, I mean, we've been blessed excessively as a company and an organization. We have great people, great customers, and so when we look to give back and to do things for others, there's very few places that are as good as this.
Yeah.
I mean, what the good you can do with the research and with the help, and then of course, like you said, going to camp and that help, you know, so much of the money that we can do donating here and helping raise stays here.
Right.
It helps kids that we meet and know, and
right.
it's just a terrific charity. We're really glad to do it.
Well, we're glad you're back year after year, Skip. Thank
and we
you
want to
so
help
much.
you tote. We gotta check. Oh, there we go. Kim's got it.
Kim's got it. Come on, Kim.
We've known Kim for a dozen years or so. So here's a check for $5,000 from,
Oh, wow.
from my wife, my lovely wife Lori, and I in the business, and hopefully maybe that'll get us over 100 now.
That would be fantastic. Kim, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Skip,
Kim.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Let's go to Ann.
I think it's time for Rennie.
Oh, Rennie. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Rennie.
I'll
Sorry.
take it. By the way, Skip, thank you so much. That's tremendous, tremendous. The Star Wall, my galaxy here, is starting to really fill up right now. Let me point out some of our blue stars we just received. Suzanne, thank you very much. We've got Ronald down here, thank you. Lita, I think I mentioned before. I've got Deborah over here. We got a few more. Daniel with the silver star, and I also have Yvonne with a silver star. But look at my hands right here. I have 4 of the gold stars. A gold star means that you're giving at least $500 to the Star Wall. And look at this. I've got 2 from the same person, Alicia Elsner. She, of course, is the president of our KSDK studio, so I want to say thank you so much for that. I also have stars here from Tim and from Donna. So right there, folks, we have at least $2,000 on 4 stars, plus all the other stars I have up here. Once again, the blue star, $100 and up. Silver star, $250 and up. Gold star, $500. My wall is getting bigger, it is getting better, it is getting brighter, but I want this wall to be completely filled. As I said, this is going to be our own little Milky Way right here in St. Louis. So if you can, please give. Right now, I want to toss things over to Mike Bush. Mike?
All right, Rennie, thanks very much. And Christine Welker is back with MDA, and you have another special presentation.
So right now I want to present and introduce you to Brian Chow, who is the CFO of a nonprofit doing amazing work in the disability employment space. We're celebrating all the work there, but we're really celebrating him tonight because he's been a huge MDA champion. He went to summer camp where he talks about how he learned his independence. What we really love is the work you're doing as an advocate for the young adult space and the independence that you find in the inclusive, accessible work environment. So we wanted to say thank you. This is the inaugural first ever Community Quest Award because you have been on a quest, your personal journey, and what we love about this is that it's taken out of the archives and it is called Waves of Life because you are riding the wave and making change happen, and for that we are very grateful. So we want to present this to you, our first ever Community Quest tribute.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
So, Brian, you know, one of the things about kids who go to camp, they seem to follow a certain journey because it changes their life. I wonder if that was the same thing for you.
Yeah, you know, the MDA and camp and whatnot was very important to me. You know, meeting a lot of different people with MD and kind of seeing those different approaches. But then going throughout college and whatnot, I tried to come back to the muscular dystrophy community here, talk to other students who are kind of going through that transition to adulthood. And that's continued into my career. I'm an accountant by training, but now I'm the CFO of a nonprofit that works for, you know, helping people with disabilities get into careers, and so it's been real good.
And we talked a little bit about that earlier, but it's so important because there's sometimes a stigma attached to people with disabilities.
Absolutely, you know, it's all about changing that mindset, and it's not just, you know, the you know, companies that we need help work with making that more inclusive, but it's helping make those students with disabilities really envision that they have a brighter future.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much for being here.
Appreciate it.
Kristen, thank you very much as always. Let's go to Scott.
All right, well, perhaps this isn't the first time you've watched the MDA Telethon on Channel 5. You may have watched for many years, and you're wondering, well, what have we achieved in that time? Well, since its inception, MDA has invested more than $1 billion collectively in the laboratories of 7,000 scientists, all working on cures and treatments. Even where no cure is available yet, MDA research has resulted in better treatments that result in increased survival and better quality of life. Plus, MDA funding also helps the careers of those bright young scientists through its development grants program. To date, MDA has helped train more than 2,000 young scientists. All the research continues every day with the goal of ending muscular dystrophy for future generations. But research is expensive, and that's why we need your help. That research is ongoing even here in St. Louis. Please give what you can by texting GIVE MDA to 314-425-5355. Let's send it back out to Ann.
Scott, thank you. We told you earlier that firefighters all over the country have been dedicated to beating muscle disease for more than 60 years. And they're back again. Joining me now is Matt Coppin and Jillian Sakis from Metro West Fire, who has been volunteering to help MDA for years in a very personal way. Let's start with you, Matt. Why did you want to get involved with MDA? You're so tall. This needs to be longer. Okay, here we go.
No, I just graduated college and I didn't have a job lined up, and some friends of mine had volunteered at camp the previous year and said, what are you doing next week? And so it was that simple. I went through the process and went out to camp. So I think people often use the term like that was life-changing, but I think there's probably very few things in life that are actually life-changing. But for me, being invited and going to camp and having that experience truly was.
And I agree with you. I've been to MDA camp. It is indescribable. And you were a counselor. Explain what the counselor's role is, because it's not your average counselor role. And you do this as a volunteer.
No, that's true. So it's a camp full of volunteers that provide for the children that come out. So as a counselor, you're paired with one or maybe two campers, and you provide all their needs for them that week. So whether that's just for a little kid, maybe just being their friend, or for an older kid where you're helping them eat and go to the bathroom and shower and doing some of those more personal things, you are their caregiver for the week. So what I think is nice about it is it allows those kids the opportunity to kind of step outside of their normal caregiver situation. They're probably always with mom or dad or grandma and grandpa. So here they have a chance to just be on their own, have some independence, be with other kids that are like them. They may go to a school where they're the only person in a wheelchair in their school, and here they're in a cabin with 8 other boys or girls that are also like that. So and too, I think it gives their parents a break as well, or their primary caregivers, just a chance to kind of regroup, to be with their spouse, to know that their kid is in a place where they're cared for and they're having a great experience.
And it is free always, MDA camp. And you heard Tilly earlier, one of the MD patients was so excited for camp to happen again. And they do feel like all the disability just melts away at camp. There's sports, there's fishing, there's swimming, there's dances at night. It's just a really amazing experience.
Yeah, I think instead of being in a world where there's an activity and then it has to be adapted so that they can participate, everything at camp is designed so that everybody can participate. So some way or another, they're able to be involved on whatever level they're comfortable. And I think I know it means a lot to the kids. It means a lot to me selfishly to be in that as well. It kind of puts things into perspective. It's a great reminder once a year that, the problems that I have in my life really, pale in comparison to what some of these families are facing. And they don't let it bother them, that they can still find ways. You heard Tilly and the kids talk about how they make it into almost a positive, and that still blows my mind.
They have an absolute blast. Jillian, come in here a little bit. Explain to me how you got involved with MD.
I remember watching the telethon as a child, and once I became a firefighter, it was just kind of a natural transition into helping do the fundraising. We go out every year. It's nice to see how involved the community gets with us, and it's something to look forward to every year for
And
us.
how long have you been doing Fill the Boot campaign with Metro West?
20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
Oh, that is so fantastic. And let's talk about so far Fill the Boot for you guys this year.
Right, so Jillian's been doing it for 20 years as an agency. Metro West has been collecting for MDA for over 40 years. Last year we raised over $12,000 in our Fill the Boot effort. We were out collecting this past week, and we'll have that total here shortly.
We are very excited.
Yeah.
All right, you know better than anyone. You give your week of vacation to go and help support kids at camp, at MDA camp.
Yeah.
Tell people why that camp is everything to these kids. It's what they look forward to all year long. So
Right.
tell people, this money stays local. This is for the St. Louis kids to go to this St. Louis camp.
Yeah, as a father myself and my 2 kids sitting over there, to see everything that my kids are able to do, and just knowing that these kids at camp have that same ability to kind of go to camp, to let their hair down, to have a good time with their friends, and there's really no barriers, right? So they can be regular kids away from their mom or dad, tell those jokes that maybe mom or dad don't think are funny, and just have a great week. And that's really what it's all about.
It is a very special week. And I hope this year they're back at it. All right, Matt and Jillian, thank you both so much, and thank you to Metro West. Let's get back to Rennie Knott.
All right, Ann, I'm loving the Fill the Booth campaign. I would love to have Fill the Star Wall campaign as well going on right now. You could see the blue star there Mary gave us. That blue star, $100 donation gets you on the wall with that. Our gold stars, $500 or more, get you on the wall with that. $250 gets you a silver star. As you can see, our star wall is picking up. I've been able to tell some of the stories of the people who are giving. I've been able to give you their names. I want them to hear your name as well. So what I need you to do over these next few minutes as we get to the top of the 10 o'clock hour is to give what you can. Call family, call friends, walk next door, knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, let's give the MDA tonight. Let's make a difference right here in St. Louis. And already making a difference, a new partner helping us fight muscle disease, the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, the Redbirds. We're excited to tell you that they are getting involved tonight along with Cardinal Care. Just last night, Cardinal Care spotlighted MDA before the game against the Cubs. We want to say thank you to Bill DeWitt and to everybody with the Cardinals organization for remembering MDA. And because of them, we're adding $5,000 more to our tote board this evening. And get this, our good friend Madison Lawson got to throw out the first pitch last night. Well done. Thank you so much to the St. Louis Cardinals. I know they're in the fight right now, trying to make the playoffs, trying to win the division, but they know in their hearts that this is a special night. This is about giving back to their own community. So thank you to the Cardinals for stepping up to the plate. Now it is your opportunity to do the same and join us on our star wall. Let's get this whole wall filled up. We're doing pretty good so far, but we have time to get some more. Right now, I want to toss it back into the studio with our Scott Connell. Scott?
And Renee, you know, we are really excited here tonight for so many reasons. Speaking of partners, how about MDA's partnership with RGA? We're happy to say that RGA, a company whose headquarters is right here in St. Louis, is donating $5,000 to our telethon tonight. RGA is Reinsurance Group of America, and it's one of the largest global life and health reinsurance companies. With headquarters right here at home, RGA says they support clients and partners around the world through innovative approaches and customized solutions. Thanks again to RGA for help in tonight's telethon. And
Louis. Sarah Schweigel. We have been following her story since she was a little girl and was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy. Mike sat down with her to talk about her challenges and her incredible fighting spirit.
When I say MDA to you, what does it mean to you?
MDA means a sense of community and research and an opportunity to grow and become the person that you really are. Without MDA and MDA camp, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be as independent, I wouldn't be as strong, and I wouldn't be living my best life.
Obviously, there were scary times because one of the things that happens when you have SMA is that if you get a cough or you get a cold, it's not like when other people get a cough or a cold. So I know there were trips to the hospital on several occasions.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Children's Hospital. Definitely a lot more time in Children's than any able-bodied child probably ever has. I would often get really, really sick from just a head cold. I don't have the ability to cough, so anytime I got any kind of cold or upper respiratory infection, I would have to do breathing treatments that consisted of albuterol treatments, a thing called a cough assist, which helps you take a deep breath in and cough, and the vest and other machines, and it's like a whole ordeal.
And yet there were a lot of great times too, and I know MDA camp is very special to you.
Yes, MDA camp is some of my favorite memories. Every year for 1 week during the summer, I got to go be with all of my friends, be away from my parents, and have someone that I knew and trusted to take care of me. And I just got to be a normal kid. We did arts and crafts, we swam, the firefighters would come out and bring the trucks and all the sirens, and it was so great. There were camp dances, and it was just like every other summer camp experience. And that was so important for me as a disabled child, because I got to learn what it was like to be independent and on my own and have someone that wasn't my mom taking care of me.
And then you became an MDA star. So we had you on the telethon for many years, and then you went national and you got to meet Jerry Lewis, and one MDA telethon, he asked you to be the National Goodwill Ambassador. What do you remember about that?
Yeah, so that whole experience was incredible. I remember getting to go to Hollywood and stay in the fancy hotel and have that whole star experience, and being on set with Jerry Lewis and Jan Carl. And after my interview with Jan, Jerry Lewis actually walked over and told my parents to go sit down, and he wanted to have a chat with me. And we were like, okay. And at that time, that's when he asked me to be National Goodwill Ambassador live on TV. And of course I said yes, because how cool to be asked to be National Goodwill Ambassador by the one and only Jerry Lewis.
It was fantastic. And that whole year when you were National Goodwill Ambassador, what was that year like?
Yeah, so that year was incredible. I got to travel across the country and speak with all of the sponsors for the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
And then you took that experience as a star and you became a star in life. Tell me about your journey and where you are today.
Yeah, so after I grew up and graduated high school, I went to Maryville University and got my bachelor's in rehabilitation services with a minor in political science. And then in grad school, I went to St. Louis University for my master's in public administration. And that was a wonderful experience. Again, I lived on campus, I lived independently. I managed my own attendance, and I was able to work as a graduate assistant at SLU, which was phenomenal. I had some incredible professors there too. And then after graduation, I took a full-time job at Starclough Disability Institute. And after that, I now work at Paraquad as the advocacy and organizing specialist. So I do a lot of community organizing. I work with people with disabilities to help them become the best advocates they can be.
So you're making changes right now. What do you want people to know? I think there's sometimes a misconception about people with disabilities. What do you want people to know?
People with disabilities have gifts and talents and can bring something to every situation, no matter what that is. We oftentimes are overlooked and seen as less than, and that's not true at all. We are incredibly skilled. I think my favorite phrase that's kind of a disability rights movement phrase is assume competence, and that's assume that people are able to do things, are able to manage their lives with the proper supports and services.
And if people are watching the telethon and they're thinking about, going online and making a donation, but they haven't done it yet, what would you tell them?
I would say, please, if you feel that you can make a donation, please do so. The Muscular Dystrophy Association does so much more than just provide those summer camps. They provide research. And with research, there have been new drugs and new treatments for my disease, spinal muscular atrophy. About a year ago, I started on the first ever at-home treatment for SMA, and I can now lift my arm up off of my armrest, which is something I haven't been able to do since I was a small child. And that is huge and amazing and incredibly exciting. And your dollars have made that possible, your donations throughout the years.
It's always great to spend some time with Sarah Schweigel, and let's see if she motivated some people. And Rennie, Scott, let's check the latest tote. Here we go.
Oh! Wow.
What a jump.
Yeah, all right now.
Thank you, St. Louis. $167,000. Wow. And we still have some time to go, so keep those texts and those calls coming. All right, now to a tough part of this telethon. We want to remember some of the people we've lost because of these terrible muscle diseases. One of those people are, we introduced you earlier to the Hahn family. We talked about them when we had the Flying Pigs on. They weren't able to make it out, but they've made it their mission to raise lots of money for MDA and make a difference. And that mission started years ago, and this was the story I did way back then.
What you got?
The strongest people in the world aren't the ones with the gym membership.
What's in your hand?
Though when it comes to adversity, the Hahn family has done more than their share of heavy lifting.
Ooh, show mommy. Ooh.
Their 3-year-old daughter, Charlotte, is a fighter.
I remember the day she was born, the nurses said, "Oh, this one's spunky. You can do it. You're a big girl."
Charlotte was born with something called cerebellar hypoplasia, which means the cerebellum in the back of her brain didn't completely develop.
Here, let's go see.
When we talk about our daughter walking, we're talking, you know, maybe 20 steps, and then she falls or holds onto the couch, and that's a huge accomplishment for us.
She is so determined to just be everything she can be. She doesn't know she has any limitations.
All right, want to look at pictures of Ryan?
No one so small should have to go through so much.
Are you ready?
But her determination has given her a fighting chance.
Who's that?
Something her brother never had.
Oh, tell me what you see.
Ryan Hahn was born on a snowy day last January.
I remember the first time I really saw him after he was born. He just was so handsome. Everything just felt good. You know, we knew Charlotte was doing well, and here he was, and he was healthy, and what more could we ask for?
What was it like the first time you held him?
A son, you know.
When you have a baby, love is automatic. Health, however, is not.
We started noticing he breathed fast a lot, and we started noticing that he wasn't holding his head up well.
You know, those little things you start noticing and you question of, you know, are we being overprotective because of how much we've been through?
But something was wrong, and at just 4 months old, doctors put a name to it. Ryan had spinal muscular atrophy.
We were devastated. I don't think there's any other way to put it, because we had so many hopes and dreams for him. This is a box a friend of ours gave us to keep some of Ryan's special things in.
SMA is a genetic disease that destroys muscles, and Ryan had the most severe form, type 1. Most patients don't make it to their first birthday. When the tears would no longer come,
his memory will be with us always.
Words would.
He was our son, a boy that we had so many dreams for.
Jennifer documented every cherished day with Ryan on her blog.
Daddy, thank you for your strength passed on to me each day.
And in a scrapbook.
You impact the lives of countless people.
She even wrote Ryan's letter to his dad on Father's Day.
I love you more than you will ever know, and it's because of you I fight. Do you think he would have been a lot like Charlotte?
Parents are supposed to plan their children's future.
Look at how short his hair is there.
They aren't supposed to plan to say goodbye. But on July 27th, on the evening of his 6-month birthday, Ryan passed away in his parents' arms.
I'm glad he's not suffering. I know this is the hard part for us, you know, but this is the easy part for him.
But even though he's not with us now, I'm still so thankful for him, because he was one of the most special gifts I've ever been given. We had a picture like this taken.
There is no cure for SMA yet, but researchers with the Muscular Dystrophy Association say they're getting closer, and that's why the Hahns say they're getting involved.
It doesn't seem right. It seems like there should be something we can do to stop it. You ready to walk? Let's do some walking.
So much like their daughter Charlotte, they refuse to give up. With their unshakable faith, they'll continue to work for a cure because they know that would be Ryan's hope.
That would be amazing.
The Hahn family wasn't able to be with us tonight, but they send their very best, and we look forward to seeing them next year. They work all year long raising money for MDA in honor of Ryan. Well, if you've watched this telethon in the past, you know the name Dr. Alan Pestrunk. Dr. Pestrunk's job is a mouthful. He is the longtime director of the neuromuscular division and the Neuromuscular Clinical Laboratory at Washington University School of Medicine. And tonight we're pleased to tell you that he is getting the prestigious MDA Tribute Award. We were there on Thursday at Washington University when MDA's president, Dr. Don Wood, honored Dr. Pestrunk for a lifetime of great work. He's been on the forefront of many of MDA's breakthroughs, and his lab researches a wide variety of autoimmune and genetic diseases of nerves and muscles. In other words, he's a lot smarter than most of us. And as we do every Labor Day weekend, we sat down to talk about the latest advances and what this award means to him.
Well, it means what MDA means to me, which is that MDA has been a wonderful organization that's supported all kinds of aspects of patient care that would not have been available to our patients without MDA's help. MDA is an organization that's supported my training and my research over the years, and the fact that an organization like that would give me something is particularly meaningful.
We sit down pretty much every year for more than 30 years to talk about the latest advances. But now as you look back, because this tribute award is for a lifetime of work, when you think about some of the progress that has been made in these 30 plus years, what sticks out to you?
What sticks out to me is that more and more of our patients who come to visit us each week, we can walk in with confidence and say, we can improve your lives, we can treat your underlying disease, and it's so gratifying.
Oh, are we on? Sorry about that. Thank you to Dr. Pestrunk, and now we're joined by Dr. Don Wood once again. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And what do you have in store right now?
Well, what I have in store is something for leadership in MDA for years and years and years in helping move MDA forward. As you know, Mike, better than anybody, the heart of MDA are in the communities that we serve. And MDA has been built from local support, from individuals that are giving, like in St. Louis. And we've established what I'm very proud of as a tribute award. We just saw one for Dr. Pestrunk. He is a leader, a world-renowned leader in his field. But in our local communities, we also have leaders who are often unsung. In St. Louis, you, Mr. Mike Bush, are the leader of MDA, helping our community. Folks watching this television show know you as an announcer, know you on TV. But we at MDA know you for what you do behind the scenes. You may not know it, folks, but Mike goes to the summer camps. Mike jumps in those pools with those kids. Mike,
or sometimes thrown into the pools.
Sometimes thrown in those pools, all right? Mike goes to the galas. Mike goes to the muscle walks. Mike does everything he can to move this community's patients with neuromuscular disease to better outcomes and better health. Mike, I can think of no one in this whole area greater than you to give one of MDA's tribute awards, first tribute awards. It is well earned. Folks all over St. Louis, even if you're home right now, give Mike a great hand. He has earned this.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, this is really not necessary, but I do want to say that I go back to 35 years ago when I first met a little girl, and she had SMA. I didn't know what SMA was, but after I got to know her, Allison Reinhardt, and her mom, and I just fell in love with her and everybody that I've been associated with MDA. You know, you've been there. You've been at camps. You see how courageous these kids are. You know, people ask me, well, aren't they sad when they go to camp? Aren't they sad because they're in a wheelchair? No, not at all. They are so happy. They're so happy just to be a kid. And their families are so happy that their kids get to be kids. And so this is, I appreciate the award, but just getting to be a part of MDA has been a award in itself. And St. Louis, You know, when we would do the telethons and we come to this national event, you know how St. Louis did every single year, and we were always so proud to say, you know what we earned last year, because St. Louis always comes through. So I thank you. I accept this on behalf of all the families and for all the people who have donated all these many years.
Thank you, Mike.
Dr. Wood.
It's an honor to give
Appreciate
it to you.
it. Thank you. I don't know where we're going next. Ann?
I think you're coming to me, Mike, and congratulations. You put your entire efforts behind this all year long, and I know it's something very deep and personal for you. And so with that, it's time to check the latest tote. And I think we're going to make some folks happy here. We're not there yet. We still have 15 more minutes to go, but the latest number coming in now. We're getting close to $200,000. We're at $193,000. Mike, we're at $193,000. I hope that gets you excited.
Coming through. Oh my God, Scott, that's amazing. That's amazing. All right. So recently, photojournalist Tom Stasiak and I drove out to Truesdale, Missouri to spend time with the Hayes family. Brandon Hayes is so very proud of his brother Jordan, who lived every day to the fullest despite having Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Making a difference for others has now become the Hayes mantra, and this is their story.
We are in Truesdale, Missouri. This is our corporate headquarters for Hayes Food Systems. Right now we're at 15 employees, and what we do is we are the area developers for Chester's Fried Chicken. So anyone you would see in our 5-state territory that wants to do our fried chicken program has to go through us, and we sell them and service them. So Jordan was always an outgoing kid. He was a fun kid to be around. He was very affectionate with everybody. And, you know, even through his later stages in life, he was always about his family. You know, he was always wanted to make sure mom was okay, make sure dad was okay, his brothers, his family was okay. So he was diagnosed at age 8 with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Jordan, even up till, 8, 9, 10 years old, yeah, he would stumble, he would be a little clumsy, but he was still active. Up until about when he started becoming, 20, 21 years old is when it was really starting to, you could really see the hard effects on him. I felt terrible because there was literally nothing we could do. And that's when we really my younger brother Matt and I finally came to the conclusion, like, we've got to do something. Like, we can't sit around and do nothing. Rain will fall, but tears will dry. Ooh, I'm missing you. So about 13 and a half years ago, we created the Jordan Hayes Foundation to help raise funds for muscular dystrophy. Our goal was not to just raise funds for the kids going to camp and to the families, but to help create awareness. I'm gonna wake up right here where you are. So our golf tournament this year, we've been using Bogey Hills Country Club as our host golf course for the last 12 years. They're phenomenal. We know them very, very well, close personal connections there. We've been members there since the 80s. We usually raise right around $50,000 at the event, and all the money, which is still nice, is able to stay here in St. Louis at St. Louis MDA to help with research. Rain will fall, but tears will dry. A lot of people asked us after Jordan passed away, are you going to continue the foundation? Are you going to try and move away from it? And Jordan's still with us in spirit. You know, we think about him every single day, and my family and I love being able to help. Yeah, it'd be great if Jordan was still here with us, but in the same token, there are other families out there just like us. We were very blessed. You know, my parents had a successful business. We were able to give Jordan whatever he needed to help him out, get through this, and just have a fun life as a kid. And there are a lot of other families out there that aren't like that. It's a struggle for them, and we get it. So we want to continue to be able to help other families and keep, still to this day, the awareness I don't think is out there like it is with other diseases. We want to be one of those forefront diseases that everyone knows about, everyone's aware about, and there is help for anyone who needs it. I'm missing you.
And we're very excited to have the Hayes family back once again. They're here in force, as they always are, and Amelia Lamb with MDA is also here.
Thank you so much. Just really quickly wanted to thank you for everything on behalf of all of us at MDA. We are so appreciative of your continued support of our mission. And I wanted to introduce Brandon to everybody.
Yes, Brandon, you know, we sat down and had this nice conversation about your brother. For people who didn't know him, tell people about him.
So Jordan was diagnosed at age 8 with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, and all throughout his childhood, Jordan was just the most compassionate, affectionate, just fun-loving kid. He tried his hardest to not let the disease take over his personality, and he let himself shine as a kid. Obviously, with Duchenne's, throughout his later years in life, it started taking a pretty hard toll on him. But even up until, you know, his last seconds, he was always that kid you wanted to be around, always a lot of fun to be with, whether it was video games, watching sporting events, or...
And you said he was always concerned about everybody else.
Always concerned about his family. I mean, his number one question was always, you know, how's mom doing? How's dad doing? How's the family doing? Like, he was... Just because he had that disease didn't take away from the personality that he was.
And you said as a brother, it was really frustrating because you felt like there was nothing you could do.
And that, I think that's the feeling that a lot of us have. You know, we get to go through our normal lives doing whatever we could want to do. Climb a building, skydive, do great things, you know. And to see my little brother just not to be able to get out of a wheelchair, and sometimes not to be able to write his name, or just do things that you and I take for granted, it was difficult for all of us.
And yet then you decided there was something you could do. So
Yeah.
tell me what happened.
So my other younger brother, Matt, and I decided to start a foundation to help raise funds for MDA. We started off with just doing a golf tournament, and we did a couple other fundraisers, Easter egg hunts and things like that, and we're 13 years into it. We celebrated our 13th golf tournament this year, which is kind of like our flagship event that we host every year at Bogey Hills Country Club for the MDA.
And it was another big success this
It
year.
was a great year. You know, we're truly blessed with a lot of good friends, obviously a huge family, huge supporting base of friends that we have that come out every single year. They bear the heat, they bear the rain, whatever the conditions might be, to help us raise funds for, you know, not just for that foundation, but to help, again, put out there how bad this disease is and create awareness.
Awareness is the number one goal of your family. You just want
really
people to
is.
know about this.
Yes, and that's the sad thing about muscular dystrophy is there still to this day there's not enough awareness with it.
Right.
It's not, you know, it's a horrible disease, and it needs to be out there in front like the rest of them, like the cancers and the things of this world, to where there's so much more that all of us could do to help raise funds.
All right, so I understand you brought a check today.
I do have a check for you this year. It's not as big as last year. We did try our hardest, I promise you.
Believe me.
But this year, through a great tournament, great donations, we were able to raise
Oh my God.
$45,000 this year.
Jeez.
For MDA.
I'm sorry. It's just such a surprise because we talked.
We did.
You surprise me every year.
Yeah.
Well,
I like keeping secrets sometimes.
Yeah. And I know you didn't do this alone.
No,
so
we did not. So, you know, through our foundation and through just close family friends, obviously every year we have a very successful tournament. But the last couple of years, you know, we lost a close friend of ours, close family friend last year, and through his, through his trust, he donated a large sum last year. And going into this year, we heard talks that there was going to be a little bit of money there. We didn't know. They didn't even know. And then they presented us at our golf tournament with another $200,000 check. So the reach of not just our family, but Jordan is out there. He has so many people that loved him and cared about him.
And that's the thing. Jordan is here tonight because of all of you.
Right.
We thank you so much. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the big check. Thank you for making a difference for all the kids with muscular dystrophy. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Oy. All right, let's check the final tote. Let's see what we've got. Oh, not yet, I'm told. Should we go to Rennie? Okay. Oh, wait, we've got another presentation. All right, guys, let's let Grant's Farm come in here.
Mike.
Doug.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much.
We appreciate you and all you've done over the decades for MDA.
Well, let me just say that, you know, it is just an honor to be here at Grants Farm, and every year you guys step up for us. You don't have to do that, but you put yourself out and you make this space available for us and for the families who come out here, and we really do appreciate it. You guys are an incredible partner for us.
It's the least we can do. On behalf of Grants Farm and the Bush family, we'd like to donate an additional $2,000 to you for being here in front of the great Bush family estate. We very much appreciate you, Mike, so thank you so
Doug,
much.
thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
We appreciate it. All right, Sam, so we're going to the final tote now? Okay, let's roll it. Check the final tote. Oh. Oh my God. Look at that. $458,000.
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
I know you're gonna fall over.
I'm not gonna make it. Jesus.
So exciting.
Well, we have a lot of people to thank. There you have it, by the way. First of all, we want to thank our general manager, Alicia Elsner, whose support of MDA is unwavering. To all the folks at MDA National who made a special trip here to St. Louis to help us make this telethon successful. Amelia, Kristen, so many others. Special thanks to Dr. Wood, Therese, thank you so much. Again, to the folks at Grants Farm who are always so generous to us, to MDA, to our amazing crew, Rick Meyer, Bob Hain, Tom Stasiak, Dave Muth, Randy Schweckner, John Jordan, Jeff Bailey, Jeff Watkins, Andrea Firestone. I'm forgetting a lot of people. To the folks back in the control room, Sheila and Sam and John. To my amazing co-hosts, Ann Allred, who always steps up when there's a good cause, and Rennie Knott, who is there every weekend doing something for somebody. But most of all, thank you, because this would not be possible without your generosity. Scott Connell, always thank you for stepping up. Please keep giving, and we leave you tonight with the voice of Chris Mann. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk hard with hope in your heart, and you'll